When severe weather hits our area, the WILN Weather Center brings you precise weather information you need. For a full, detailed, and accurate daily weather report, watch WILN Weather with Joe Garbacik weekdays at 5 and 10 and online anytime at WILNTV.com.
This is Late Edition News at 10 with Ann Gownley. Sports with Beth Mensinger. And meteorologist Joe Garbacik.
The first weekend in February and the first shooting of the year in the city of Hazleton, and it's our top story tonight. Good evening. This is WILN's Late Edition for Monday, February 3rd, 2014. I'm Ann Gownley. Well, before we get to the top stories of the day, we first want to check in with Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbacik. Joe, we got hit pretty hard with snow today, causing schools to close down. But now what can we expect for tomorrow? Joe?
That's right, Ann. That storm system that we encountered earlier today, that storm system actually made its way slightly further north than what all of the computer models were telling us. So that's one of the reasons we saw the higher amounts than maybe some of the amounts that you were seeing. Basically, computer models were wrong, and that's what we go by in the meteorology field. They were saying the lower amounts, storm system further toward the south, it made its way north, and as a result, those heavier amounts made their way north as well. We picked up 5.5, almost 6 inches here in the Hazleton area. Now, there's still going to continue to be some slick spots across parts of our viewing area through tonight, so if you have to do any type of traveling, by all means, give yourself some extra time, reach your destination safely. And also, there's some of those school delays for tomorrow morning because some of those slick spots are out there. Good news for the schools, for kids that don't like to have classes. There's a pretty good bet as you head into Wednesday that there won't be any school. We'll talk more about that pretty good snowstorm that looks like it's going to be heading in our direction Tuesday night into Wednesday. But right now, again, you can see really nothing going on throughout the state of Pennsylvania. That's what's left of that storm system sliding off of the East Coast. Behind it, not a whole heck of a lot going on throughout much of the nation, but there will be a developing storm system that I am going to be talking about. And we're going to have the impacts of it heading into tomorrow night as we head into Wednesday morning as well. And that could give us several inches of snow. In fact, we do have those winter storm watches in effect. They go into effect Wednesday morning, early Wednesday morning. Those winter storm watches continue to be in effect throughout our entire viewing area starting Wednesday. But right now, Live 35 Skycast Doppler, nothing to show you from Wilkes-Barre through Scranton, through Berwick, Bloomsburg, Williamsport, Lewisburg, all points generally remaining dry. Now, that's one storm system I'm going to talk about going into Wednesday. Weather pattern remains active. We may have to deal with a more potent storm system as we go into Sunday. Oh, it gets crazy around here. Phil, the groundhog said 6 more weeks of winter. We're going to see 6 more weeks of winter because it's going to be cold and snowy. Complete 7-day forecast coming up in just a few.
Thanks, Joe. And of course, more from Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbacik when we come back in just a little bit. But just a reminder that the school delays are listed on our website, WILNTV.com. Now on today's top story, a fatal shooting in the city of Hazleton over the weekend. And now one man is behind bars charged with criminal homicide. One man is dead and another injured after a deadly shooting outside of Shaker's Bar on West Diamond Avenue in Hazleton. State police were on scene just after 2 o'clock Sunday morning.
Pennsylvania State Police, while on routine patrol, have, passing Shaker's heading west, observe a large crowd, and as they're pulling up, they hear gunshots and they witness an individual later identified as Terrence Clark, firing his weapon and then running through the crowd away from them. They immediately stop their car while he's still firing and shout the commands of police, halt, police, halt.
26-year-old Terrence Clark was captured after a short foot chase. Police say Clark shot and killed 45-year-old Gary Cox of East 8th Street in Hazleton. Cox was taken to Lehigh Valley Hospital, Allentown, where he later died.
This incident was not random. This is not a drive-by. This was a specific act of violence by people who knew each other and chose to fight each other. This is not something where the rest of the community has to think, oh, we can't go out because somebody's just driving by doing these type of random crimes. It was not random.
Lehigh Valley coroner pronounced Cox dead just after 8 o'clock Sunday morning. Another man who has not been identified was also injured Saturday morning and life-flighted to Lehigh Valley Hospital in Allentown. Still no word on his condition. Clark was arraigned Sunday evening at Magisterial District Judge Joseph Zola's, where he was charged with criminal homicide, 2 counts of aggravated assault, and 1 count of unlawful possession of a firearm. Chief DeAndrea tells us that if it wasn't for the state police patrolling the area at that time, Clark may not have been caught immediately, calling the troopers heroes.
They've gone above and beyond. They have physically, single-handedly captured a murderer in the city of Hazleton. These men on this midnight shift could have been anywhere else in the county, relaxing, taking it easy, but they choose to be at a hot spot because they know Sunday morning is notorious for the city of Hazleton, bars letting out fights, stabbing, shootings. And so on their own, without being dispatched to a call, they choose to patrol the bars in our community to assist us. And as they're patrolling the bars at let-out time, they come across a homicide that is actively occurring. I can't thank them enough.
Chief DeAndrea says the bar was most likely at full capacity during closing time. Several interviews will be conducted over the next few days, and video surveillance from outside the bar will also be reviewed.
It was a crowded bar. It was not that there were only 1 or 2 people left. It was, I'm going to say, a near-capacity crowd.
An autopsy on Cox was expected to be completed today. Anyone with information on Sunday morning's shooting is asked to contact the Hazleton Police Department immediately or dial 911. Well, in response to the fatal shooting in the city on Sunday morning, Police Chief Frank DeAndrea says it's the nature of culture that we're living in. DeAndrea says the department stands at 38 police officers, doing the job of 60.
I worry every day, every night, how I am going to protect this community, without any end in sight or any additional officers. I mean, we aren't even back to the 2007 level of staffing for the police department. We're below 2007. So I'm concerned. I'm always concerned with violent crime. I'm concerned on how to combat it. And I can only be more thankful than ever for the relationship and the support that we have from other agencies, because that's the only way that we survive.
Luckily, DeAndrea says they can rely on the state police and other municipal departments if needed.
Wilkes-Barre, with 44,000 people, is going to be up to 85 cops. And then you look at Hazleton with an area with the population somewhere close to 30,000 people, and we have 38 cops. We can't do this without the support of all of these agencies.
DeAndrea says they are hoping to get more officers out on the streets as soon as possible. A McAdoo man is behind bars tonight for allegedly stabbing his sister in the neck Saturday just after 10 o'clock at night. 27-year-old Ralph Michael Laqueta has been charged with criminal attempt at homicide, aggravated assault, simple assault, tampering with evidence, among other charges. Laqueta admitted to police that he stabbed his sister Megan Laqueta 2 to 3 times with a pair of brass knuckles that had a knife attached to them. The 19-year-old victim was found in the 200 block of South Cleveland Street. According to police, Megan told them that it was her brother who stabbed her. Then Megan's girlfriend said that she was upstairs at the time of the incident and heard her screaming, ran downstairs, and found Laqueta on top of the victim stabbing her. She was taken to Lehigh Valley Hospital in Hazleton and later flown to Lehigh Valley in Allentown, where she had at least 2 surgeries. Magisterial District Judge Anthony Kilker of Shenandoah set Laqueta's bail at $100,000. He is behind bars tonight in the Schuylkill County Prison. Firefighters extinguishing a brush fire on Sunday morning made a gruesome discovery. The body of 35-year-old Angela Searfoss Stangenwalt was found in the wooded area off of Flagstaff Road in Jim Thorpe. State police are calling the case a homicide investigation. Angela has not been seen since Friday afternoon when she left her job at Kraft Foods near Fogelsville, according to her uncle, Donald Searfoss. Stegelwalt was a native of Tamaqua. She leaves behind her husband, Gary Stegelwalt, and stepson, Brendan. Anyone with information pertaining to the case should contact state police at 610-377-4270. An accident between a car and a tractor trailer on Route 924 just after 5 o'clock this evening by Interstate 81 southbound ramp. Traffic was tied up for quite a bit as crews worked on cleaning up that accident. There were no injuries reported. Police were unable to comment about that accident, and they say they are still investigating. Hazel Township Fire and Rescue also assisted at the scene. The Hazleton Area Board of Education voted to increase the salaries of the non-union employees of the district that have been working under pay freezes since the 2010-2011 school year. Our Gary Perna has the rundown.
The employees that received a pay increase were those that are classified under the non-classified or non-union employees. Now, many of them are in the central office as directors, managers, supervisors, or coordinators, along with others. It was an item that was not printed on the agenda at the January 23rd meeting. Rather, it was brought up under new business after an executive closed-door session. The salary increase that was approved on January 23rd was retroactive to July 1st of 2013. Now, many of the pays were increased by about $3,000 or $4,000, but some were even higher. Though there were some that did catch our eye here at WYLN. Carl Urena, Director of Operations, his salary will go up about $8,000. You may remember back in June of 2012 when the board reduced his salary from about $92,000 to about $74,000 during the budget crunch. It was listed in the budget as a demotion and reduction in salary. Supervisor of Security Jim Henry, his salary increased about $20,000, the biggest jump we've noticed. Not a lot of comment was made following the meeting in January. On another note, the Board of Education will meet this Thursday at 5 p.m. for a special school board meeting. Then at 6 p.m., the Finance Committee will meet for the first budget meeting. WYLN will, of course, be there. Reporting for WYLN's Late Edition, I'm Gary Perna.
Former State Senator Ray Musto has reported to Federal Medical Center in Granville County, North Carolina this morning. Musto was deemed not mentally competent to stand trial on corruption charges after a competency hearing last month. It was confirmed by a spokesman for the Federal Bureau of Prisons that Musto is in custody at FMC. A plea for an emergency stay was denied on Friday, and he was ordered to report to the facility this morning. He must undergo evaluations over the next 4 months to find out if he has the capacity to stand trial. A Kingston man was arraigned today on charges that he had a sexual relationship with a minor. 22-year-old Edgar Haller Coulter was charged with statutory rape and corruption of minors. Police state that Coulter had relations with a 14-year-old girl in January, knowing that she was underage. He was arraigned by Judge Paul Roberts in Kingston and ordered not to have any contact with the girl. He was released on $50,000 unsecured bail. An appeal has been filed for Helen Galley, who was sentenced to prison for poisoning her son's girlfriend with antifreeze. Attorney Al Flora, who is representing Galley, stated that Judge Fred Parentoni failed to consider her age and poor health when he sentenced her last year. She was sent to state prison for 5 to 12 years after a jury convicted her in October of charges of aggravated assault, simple assault, and recklessly endangering another person. Flora states that the sentence imposed by the court exceeds the defendant's life expectancy. He also said that she deserves a new trial because the evidence against her was contradictory and unreliable. A medical malpractice lawsuit was filed last month by the family of Dr. Jennifer Sederi against Geisinger Wyoming Valley Medical Center. Now the hospital is fighting back. Geisinger responded to the suit by stating that the medical services provided to Sederi were rendered in a timely and appropriate manner. Sederi visited the Plains Township Hospital on May 26, 2013 for treatment of headaches. Her health began to deteriorate and she was transferred to Geisinger Medical Center in Danville. She died there on May 29th. The malpractice suit claims that Sederi received negligent treatment and died a painful death which should have been prevented. A Plains Township woman has pleaded guilty to leaving antifreeze in pet bowls outside of her residence. 55-year-old Karen Block was charged with animal abuse by a humane officer with the Luzerne County Society for Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. Block had threatened to poison cats due to the felines urinating on her property. She was sentenced by Judge Joseph Sklarowski to 1 year probation and may not have contact with any domestic animals. She must also pay over $500 to the state police for lab fees and $500 fine. The pit bull that was found in McAdoo tied to a no parking sign and left for dead has a new home at the Hillside SPCA in Pottsville. The dog's name is now Blizzard. Unfortunately, McAdoo police tell us that Hillside had to remove 3 steel pellets from the dog's flesh. Vets at the shelter say that they believe the dog was used in dog fighting. McAdoo police, the Luzerne County SPCA, and Hillside SPCA are still investigating this incident. Also, Blizzard is still looking for a home, so you can contact Hillside in Pottsville at 570-622-7769. Tonight, our Gary Perna brings us the last part of his sit-down interview with State Senator David Argel. The senator talks about drug testing that are on the government assistance.
The final part of my interview with State Senator David Argel, we talk about the crackdown on welfare and drug testing for those that are on assistance.
The president of the Senate, Joe Scarnati, who has a big rural district in western Pennsylvania, a lot like my district here in Schuylkill, Berks, and 4 other counties, we've begun to introduce legislation to crack down on the abuse of welfare. At my town hall meetings in McAdoo or Tamaqua or wherever, no one ever comes to me and says, you know, hurt the poor, hurt the people with a disability. What drives people crazy is the abuse of the system. And so the legislation that we're now circulating for co-sponsors, that's when you ask all of the other senators to sign onto the bill, does a couple of things. One, it increases the amount of the penalty for the abuse of the system. It also requires the lottery to notify the Department of Public Welfare when someone has a significant win. One of the TV stations in Harrisburg found someone who had won over $300,000 and was still collecting a welfare check. That's clearly abuse of the system, and I guess she's on her way to prison now. And so we thought that that was appropriate. We've also heard from a fair number of folks that sometimes people lose their cards and need a new one. Certainly we understand. Sometimes they sell their cards to another person. That's clearly wrong. And so when someone loses the first card, fine, we understand. After the second card, or after the first card is lost, we believe that it should be $100 to pay a penalty, and hopefully that will cut down on some of the abuse of the system. We've also heard from a fair number of folks, and you know, at first you don't believe some of these stories, but eventually you find out it's really true. People that are collecting welfare benefits but still drive off in an expensive Cadillac. We believe that's expense, that kind of an expense is an abuse of the system as well. We believe that that expensive car should be counted toward their assets.
On those same lines,
yes.
I remember coming down doing a story with you about drug testing.
Yes.
With assistance. Has that moved further on in the...
That is going to be a separate bill that we're working on. The federal courts have made that rather difficult. You're allowed to test these people. You're not allowed to test these folks. One of the things that we did notice, however, that when the tests began here in Schuylkill County, one, a significant number of people flunked. Mm-hmm. 2, a significant number of people refused to take the test and immediately lost their benefits. And so we're still trying to work with the lawyers on exactly how to move ahead. A lot of folks would love to just random spot check anyone who applies for welfare. The federal courts won't let us do that. And so unless the Supreme Court changes its mind, we can't go as far as a lot of people, quite honestly, would like to pursue that.
When that first came about, I remember there was a lot of talk about it.
Yes.
Now that it has moved on, and you're looking at tweaking it with the federal government, what's the conversation now about it? Are more people favoring it or getting away from it?
When we test it in the district that I represent, it's very, very, very popular. When I sent out my email announcing this bill, no one objected to this bill. A lot of people, however, encouraged me to go even further. And what happens is, a truck driver, she'll say to me, look, I have to get spot checked now. Why not these folks applying for government benefits? And I think, as I said, no one objects to helping poor people on a temporary basis. But we, I think, understand that the welfare system is supposed to be a bridge not a parking lot, all right? And so we think that it's appropriate to help people when they're down and out, but it's not appropriate to ask the taxpayer to pay for someone's illegal drug habit. That's clearly wrong, and I think we tested it in a public opinion survey. It came back literally 99-1. It was one of the most clear-cut responses to a question that I've ever seen.
Senator Argel said drug testing is a hot topic, and the Senate and the House are still looking into testing more who are on welfare. In our studios for WILN's Late Edition, I'm Gary Perna.
Thank you very much, Gary. And sad news from Hollywood tonight. The fans and friends of Academy Award winner Philip Seymour Hoffman are mourning the loss of the 46-year-old actor after he was found dead in his apartment early Sunday morning of an apparent drug overdose. INN's Alexandria Field has more.
A flurry of flashbulbs as actor Philip Seymour Hoffman's body was carried out of his New York City home. The Academy Award-winning actor was found dead Sunday morning on his bathroom floor of an apparent overdose. Law enforcement sources say Hoffman was found with a needle in his left arm and at least 2 baggies that they believe contain heroin. Several other envelopes were found empty. Police say Hoffman hadn't been seen since 8 o'clock the night before. Playwright David Katz called police after finding his body at this apartment. Hoffman's family released a statement that reads, in part, "We are devastated by the loss of our beloved Phil and appreciate the outpouring of love and support we have received from everyone." This was the Philip Seymour Hoffman that was known in this star-studded neighborhood, regarded as a great father and neighbor, one who was concerned about issues in his community.
I'm just in shock. I feel so horrified in a way, and it's bad also to know how he died, because I mean, he must have been in a lot of pain. I don't know.
Friends say Hoffman moved here alone last year, not far from his family, after revealing he was in rehab for abusing prescription pills. Hoffman acknowledged his battle with addiction on 60 Minutes in 2006.
You get panicked. It was, I was 22 and I got panicked for my life. It really was. It was just that. And I always think, God, you know, I have so much empathy for these young actors that are 19 and all of a sudden they're beautiful and famous and rich. I'm like, oh my God, I'd be dead.
Hoffman's death a profound loss for the Hollywood community. Mia Farrow tweeted, "Sad and mad, hashtag PhilipSH, hashtag brilliant, beloved, needles, drugs, loss, waste." Alec Baldwin says, "I worked on 2 films with Phil Hoffman. He was a consummate stage and film actor and a true gentleman." Sure, he was Truman Capote on the big screen, an Oscar winner, but to his neighbors, a regular guy involved in community politics who rode his bike and walked his 3 young children to school, the children he had planned to see Sunday morning.
That was INN's Alexandria Field. And that is a look at tonight's top stories. Coming up next, Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbacik will have more details on that second batch of snow that's headed our way. Stay tuned for more Late Edition only on WILN.
Newly engaged? Visit our 14-acre private facility and let us show you how magical your wedding can be. Private grounds, superior service, and affordable pricing. Say I do at Carmen's Country Inn.
A winning smile. It's not the secret to success, but it sure helps. Protect your smile by visiting Dr. Weiss for complete dental services. Dr. Weiss offers a full-service denture laboratory on premises, offering dentures in one day. 3 dentists, 4 hygienists, and a team of caring technicians and assistants specializing in quality dentures and repairs, complete general dentistry, extractions, cleaning, and caps. Dr. Weiss, where you can have new dentures in one day.
Everybody loves to watch birds, but what happens when they disappear inside their house?
They have birdie picnics.
They eat worms.
Make nests.
Imagine if you could spy on the birds inside. Well, now you can with the My Spy Birdhouse, the see-through birdhouse that lets you spy inside without disturbing the birds. And it's the perfect size for typical backyard bird species. It even has a front perch.
The My Spy Birdhouse offers a safe and comfortable home for birds to raise their young.
You can bring the magic of the My Spy birdhouse to your home for $14.99. It comes with an attachable two-way mirror so you can see in, but birds can't see out. And to give your bird family privacy, you'll get the Do Not Disturb curtain free. As a bonus, we'll include the My Spy up-close bird feeder for even more bird-watching fun. Just pay separate processing and handling. Call or log on now.
Northeast Gold and Silver Exchange inside the Churchill Mall is paying cash for gold and silver, unwanted, broken, old, or new. They pay top dollar for silver coins, national currency, fine and sterling silver flatware. Locally owned and operated, in business for 47 years. Northeast Gold and Silver Exchange is open Monday through Saturday 10 to 7. Call them today at 570-497-4177 or stop in and see them. Bad credit? No credit? No problem. Valmont Auto Sales at their new location, 34 Susquehanna Boulevard in West Hazleton, can help. They offer a variety of clean and fully serviced cars, SUVs, and minivans. They offer easy credit. Buy here, pay here. They offer low down payments, same-day approval, and all of their vehicles are only $65 a week. Locally owned and operated with 20 years experience. Call Jerry or Joe today at 570-501-2626. Valmont Auto Sales, 34 Susquehanna Boulevard in West Hazleton.
WYLN TV35 is looking to hire a highly motivated, energetic salesperson for the Hazleton and surrounding areas. We offer a competitive salary and benefits package. Call 956-5772.
Okay, we got a lot to talk about now. We have not just one storm system, but two storm systems that could be impacting our weather over the next 7 days, and each one of them could produce a decent amount of snow. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Now, we had one system that came through our area earlier today. Now, one thing about this system, the computer models were wrong. I mean, they were pushing the system way down toward the south, which means we only see maybe 1, 2, 3 inches of snow. But what happens, meteorology, it's a science. We know it's not always 100% accurate, especially with those models. System did its own thing, made its way further toward the north, and as a result, we saw a number of inches of snow right here in the Hazleton area. We picked up almost 6 inches of snow, and there were even higher amounts as you headed further toward the south. So that's one system. That system is now gone. Still a few slick spots out there. Another system to deal with as we head into tomorrow night. Now we bring out, once again, I'm excited to bring this page out. It's been a while, but the storm stats page is back up and running again. We're looking at another storm system. The timing of this one, tomorrow night into Wednesday morning, we're looking at snow, some sleet, maybe the possibility of some freezing rain. It will start after 11 o'clock tomorrow evening. Snow will be heavy at times through the nighttime hours and the morning hours. There'll be some sleet, maybe some freezing rain as well mixing in. It's going to end late Wednesday morning into the early afternoon hours. There's going to be a lot of slick conditions out there. I think as we head into Wednesday, if everything holds true as it is right now, most likely all the schools will be shut. And we're looking at an average of about 4 to 8 inches of snow. And depending exactly where that track is, we may see even slightly more from this particular storm, and especially as you head further toward the north, that's when even the higher amounts will be. You could be looking at maybe 9 inches, 10 inches or so. Now we do have those winter storm watches in effect for all of our viewing area. They go into effect as we head into Wednesday. It is quiet now, live 35 Skycast Doppler, nothing to show you. We're in the 20s right now, and we're going to continue to drop temperature-wise over the next several hours. 18 now in New Angola, 23 in Berwick, 23 in Monomoy City, and 23 degrees in Danville. So here's what we can expect the next few hours across our area. It's going to be partly cloudy, a cold night, temperatures falling to about 10 degrees as we head toward the 5 o'clock morning hour. Satellite and radar, that storm system continues to make its way well off of the coast. Not a lot going on behind it, but that's going to change as we head into tomorrow. Watch Skycast and precipitation. Look at this system right through here. It races toward the north and east. And as it does, it overspreads snow, and may even see some pinks out of this would be some sleet and some freezing rain mixing in before all is said and done. And the system then moves out of here by Wednesday afternoon. And then we get a lull in the action. We may have to deal with another system as we head into our Sunday. So regionally tonight, partly cloudy, temperatures falling generally into the teens across our immediate viewing area. Now, snowfall amounts, here's what we can expect. These are some of the early prognostics, so to speak, as we go into our Wednesday. And again, a widespread 4 to 8 inches. There's going to be even higher amounts as you head further toward the north and the northern tier of Pennsylvania. So tomorrow, dry. It will be cold. We can call it the calm before the storm system. And now this next storm system races in for tomorrow night and early Wednesday morning. So tonight, 10 to 16 degrees, partly cloudy skies. It will be cold. For tomorrow, clouds will be on the increase. The calm before the storm system, 27 to 33. Snow develops for tomorrow night, 23 to 29 degrees. Here's a look at the extended forecast brought to you by the Wire Guys, a division of Arc Electric. An active weather pattern over the next several days. Another storm system for our Wednesday, quiet for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then we can be looking at a pretty decent storm again Saturday night and Sunday. This one has a potential. Looking at some of the latest model runs, this may give us, I don't want to give a number, but I'll at least tell you, this can give us maybe 6, maybe 12 inches of snow. A little early to tell, but it does look like it will be another plowable storm by the second part of the weekend. Our daily numbers, the evening one, 727, a big 4, 3218. Here's a look at some of the other numbers, the quinto numbers, 95844, and the cash 5, 16, 18, 36, and 41. We'll continue to have more late edition coming up after these commercial messages.
You work hard at fundraising events for your organization. What better way to raise awareness to your cause than to wear a custom embroidered or screen printed shirt from CTC Apparel Plus? CTC makes it easy to create t-shirts that get your message out. Not only do we have packages at different levels that are affordable, but the t-shirts will be name brand, stylish, and comfortable. All it takes is a minimum of 25 shirts to start promoting. There are no setup fees or deposits required. Call CTC today at 570-454-3754.
What? Floor samples, closeouts, every clearance item up to 50% off. Woohoo! It's Grand Central's huge 50% off clearance, now through Monday. Genuine savings on floor sample markdowns. Every item in our entire store up to 50% off. Yep, furniture, mattresses, appliances, and TVs. Tons of the good stuff. 50% off, now through Monday. Express delivery, plus up to 50% off. As always, buy local, spend less. Grand Central Hazleton.
Managing risk is more than just buying an insurance policy. At Dreyfus, our approach is different. We have 25 risk management professionals who have the tools and experience to help our clients avoid and survive unexpected events. We can help you with risk transfer, OSHA requirements, safe workplace, cybersecurity, and claims management. All of these go well beyond an insurance policy. We're also independent, so we can access dozens of insurance carriers like Grange Insurance, who can insure your auto, home, business, and life. Dreyfus Insurance since 1901 and Grange Insurance since 1935. We're committed to helping you manage risk.
Honest Abe's Tax Services, 540 Susquehanna Boulevard, Hazel Township, offers complete tax returns for $75 to $95 with 3 experienced tax preparers on staff. Tax prep fee includes federal, state, and local return. Free year-round tax advice and planning. Protect your tax return with Protection Plus. $49 covers 3 years up to $2,500. There are also 2 notaries available. Call Honest Abe's Tax Service at 570-861-8297.
Robert Stevens Face and Body. Let us help you pamper her with a Valentine's gift certificate. With every gift over $150, enjoy our complimentary Sweetheart Package while supplies last. Robert Stevens Face and Body. Let the transformation begin.
Here's a sweetheart of a deal from the Lazy Dog. Mention WYLN and get $5 off your Valentine's groom. Show your furry friend you love them with a groom from the Lazy Dog. Don't forget to mention WYLN and save $5. Happy Valentine's Day from the Lazy Dog.
WYLN TV 35, first in live sports. Join Marty Burns, Joe DeMelfi, and the entire WYLN sports team as we bring you the best in live local sports. WYLN TV 35 has it covered. WYLN TV 35, the event, not just the highlights.
Earlier today, the American Hockey League announced that Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Penguins goalie Eric Hartzell was picked as the goaltender of the month for January. In the month, Hartzell made 10 appearances and allowed 2 goals or fewer in each of those games. His record in between the polls in January is 5-2-0 with a 1.33 goals against average. He had 944 save percentage and also had one shutout after a 4-0 win over Syracuse last week. On January 29th, Hartzell made a season-high 33 stops for the Pens in their win over Providence 5-1. He is the 8th Penguin goaltender to earn the honor and will receive an Etched Crystal Award before an upcoming Pens game at Mohegan Sun Arena. It was a rough weekend for the Cougar wrestlers who headed up to the Kingston Armory Saturday for the Triple and AA District 2 duels. Hazelton area had to forfeit a handful of matches to the opposing West Scranton Invaders, eventually falling 54-18 in the quarterfinals. Winners from Hazelton area included 182-pound wrestler Steve Longazelle, who pinned Clarence Thomas. At 120, freshman Jimmy Hoffman had a pin, and in the 138 division, Keith Lowry pinned Tyler Brace. The boys then faced off with Scranton on the mat in wrestlebacks, falling 43-28. Pittston area faced off with Wyoming Valley West, though, in the AAA championship match. Valley West taking home the win and the playoff berth for States. Spartans will face Boyertown in the first round of States on Thursday. Since a number of high school sporting events were postponed tonight, let's take a look at the Wyoming Valley Conference standings as the regular season begins to wind down. One boys basketball, the Cougars of Hazelton area are number 1 with an undefeated 10-0 record. Crestwood is number 2 with 9 wins and 1 loss. Pittston area, Tunkhannock, and Valley West follow at 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Dallas sitting in 6th place. The Berwick Bulldogs with only 1 win on the season are number 7, and Coughlin rounds out the division. In Division 2, GAR is number 1 with 9 wins and no losses. Holy Redeemer close behind with 7 wins and 2 losses. Lake Lehman, Nanticoke area, and Wyoming area fill out the rest of D2 respectively. And in boys Division 3 Wyoming Valley Conference basketball, Myers out pretty far ahead with 8 wins and 1 loss. Hanover area following them in the 2nd place spot with 6 wins and 3 losses in conference play. MMI, Northwest area, and Wyoming Sem rounding out that division. Now let's check out the girls' side. Pat Brogan's Lady Comets took sole possession of first place in Division 1 girls basketball in the WVC with their win over Valley West last week. Valley West sitting at number 2 in that division. The Pittston area Lady Patriots are also in 2nd place, tied with Valley West. The Hazelton area Lady Cougars in 4th. Dallas, Berwick, Coughlin, and Tunkhannock rounding out Division 1. In Division 2, it's Holy Redeemer out ahead with 9 wins and 0 losses. Myers and Lake Lehman are tied for 2nd with 6 and 3 records. Nanticoke area and Wyoming area are 4th and 5th, respectively. And in Division 3, it's Hanover area out in front with GAR close behind. The Wyoming Seminary ladies hold on to 3rd, Northwest area at 4, and the Lady Preppers of MMI rounding it all out at the bottom of the division. The WYLN Sports Crew will be out and about again this week, broadcasting some live basketball games for you, including tomorrow night. The Wyoming Valley Conference Division 3 MMI Preppers boys will be hosting Northwest area tomorrow night beginning at 7:30. MMI, like I said there, was in 3rd place, Northwest, right behind them in 4th. Wednesday night, weather permitting, we will have Penn State Hazelton High Acres campus basketball for you. And on Friday, February 7th, we'll be back inside the Huey McGeehan Gymnasium at the Hazelton Area High School. Cougars hosting Wyoming Valley West. That's boys tip-off at 7:30. We'll have more sports coming up in a few minutes, and Gownley has your top stories when she's back next.
Elson & Company Jewelers for exceptional jewelry featuring semi-precious stones and superior diamonds. Our quality is never compromised. Our engagement diamonds are guaranteed at the best prices. Unique pieces from well-known artists. Tell your story with troll beads or camellia crafted from sterling silver and Murano glass. Fashionable and fun interchangeable jewelry also available. In our boutique, find gifts for the baby, the bride-to-be, all of life's special moments. Fabulous apparel from artists around the world. Leather handbags and accessories with renderings of famous artists. Come explore, delight in our selection. Elson & Company.
A kind word, a helping hand, being there when people need us most. Our healthcare team always gives our community their best. Merging with Lehigh Valley Health Network opens even more possibilities for all of us. More resources, specialized medical expertise, nationally recognized healthcare right here in our community. Together we can move medicine forward. The Greater Hazelton Health Alliance is now Lehigh Valley Health Network. Lehigh Valley Health Network. a passion for better medicine.
On the way to retirement, some people realize that work isn't really a bad thing. Some may want to start their own business one day. Our financial advisors will look at your complete financial picture, no matter where your money's invested, to create a plan designed to help you get to and through retirement. When you need a financial advisor fully invested in you, turn to us, Wells Fargo Advisors. Together we'll go far.
When severe weather hits our area, the WILN Weather Center brings you precise weather information you need to plan your day. And now you can get the latest weather conditions online anytime at WILNTV.com. Utilizing the latest technology, meteorologist Joe Garbacik brings you the most accurate weather information available, including webcams to view current road conditions and detailed maps of our area. For a full, detailed, and accurate daily weather report, watch WILN Weather with Joe Garbacik online anytime at WILNTV.com.
The fatal shooting in the city of Hazleton over the weekend, and now one man is behind bars, charged with criminal homicide. One man is dead and another injured after a deadly shooting outside of Shaker's Bar on West Diamond Avenue in Hazleton. State police were on scene just after 2 o'clock Sunday morning.
Pennsylvania State Police, while on routine patrol, have, passing Shakers heading west, observe a large crowd, and as they're pulling up, they hear gunshots and they witness an individual, later identified as Terrence Clark, firing his weapon and then running through the crowd away from them. They immediately stop their car while he's still firing and shout the commands of police, halt, police, halt.
26-year-old Terrence Clark was captured after a short foot chase. Police say Clark shot and killed 45-year-old Gary Cox of East 8th Street in Hazleton. Cox was taken to Lehigh Valley Hospital, Allentown, where he later died.
This incident was not random. This is not a drive-by. This was a specific act of violence by people who knew each other and chose to fight each other. This is not something where the rest of the community has to think, oh, we can't go out because somebody's just driving by doing these type of random crimes. It was not random.
Lehigh Valley coroner pronounced Cox dead just after 8 o'clock Sunday morning. Another man who has not been identified was also injured Saturday morning and life-flighted to Lehigh Valley Hospital in Allentown. Still no word on his condition. Clark was arraigned Sunday evening at Magisterial District Judge Joseph Zola's, where he was charged with criminal homicide, 2 counts of aggravated assault, and 1 count of unlawful possession of a firearm. Chief DeAndrea tells us that if it wasn't for the state police patrolling the area at that time, Clark may not have been caught immediately, calling the troopers heroes.
They've gone above and beyond. They have physically, single-handedly captured a murderer in the city of Hazleton. These men on this midnight shift could have been anywhere else in the county, relaxing, taking it easy, but they choose to be at a hot spot because they know Sunday morning is notorious for the city of Hazleton, bars letting out fights, stabbing, shootings. And so on their own, without being dispatched to a call, they choose to patrol the bars in our community to assist us. And as they're patrolling the bars at let-out time, they come across a homicide that is actively occurring. I can't thank them enough.
Chief DeAndrea says the bar was most likely at full capacity during closing time. Several interviews will be conducted over the next few days, and video surveillance from outside the bar will also be reviewed.
It was a crowded bar. It was not that there were only 1 or 2 people left. It was, I'm going to say, a near-capacity crowd.
An autopsy on Cox was expected to be completed today. Anyone with information on Sunday morning's shooting is asked to contact the Hazleton Police Department immediately or dial 911. Well, in response to the fatal shooting in the city on Sunday morning, Police Chief Frank DeAndrea says it's the nature of culture that we are living in. DeAndrea says the department stands at 38 police officers, doing the job of 60.
I worry every day, every night, how I am going to protect this community, without any end in sight or any additional officers. I mean, we aren't even back to the 2007 level of staffing for the police department. We're below 2007. So I'm concerned. I'm always concerned with violent crime. I'm concerned on how to combat it, and I can only be more thankful than ever for the relationship and the support that we have from other agencies, because that's the only way that we survive.
DeAndrea says luckily they can rely on the state police and other municipal departments if needed.
Wilkes-Barre, with 44,000 people, is going to be up to 85 cops. And then you look at Hazleton with an area, with the population somewhere close to 30,000 people, and we have 38 cops. We can't do this without the support of all of these agencies.
DeAndrea says they are hoping to get more officers out on the streets as soon as possible. A McAdoo man is behind bars tonight for allegedly stabbing his sister in the neck Saturday just after 10 o'clock at night. 27-year-old Ralph Michael Lucetta has been charged with criminal attempted homicide, aggravated assault, simple assault, tampering with evidence. Lucetta admitted to police that he stabbed her 2 to 3 times with a pair of brass knuckles that had a knife attached to them. The 19-year-old victim, Megan, was found in the 200 block of South Cleveland Street. According to police, the victim told them that it was her brother who stabbed her. Victim's girlfriend said that she was upstairs at the time of the incident and heard her screaming, ran downstairs and found Lucetta on top of the victim stabbing her. She was taken to Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton and later flown to Lehigh Valley in Allentown, where she had at least 2 surgeries. Magisterial District Judge Anthony Kilker of Shenandoah set Lucetta's bail at $100,000. He is behind bars tonight in the Schuylkill County Prison. Firefighters extinguishing a brush fire on Saturday morning made a gruesome discovery. The body of 35-year-old Angela Searfoss Steigerwalt was found in the wooded area off Flagstaff Road in Jim Thorpe. State police are calling the case a homicide investigation. Angela had not been seen since Friday afternoon when she left her job at Kraft Foods near Fogelsville, according to her uncle Donald Searfoss. Steigerwalt was a native of Tamaqua. She leaves behind her husband Gary and stepson Brendan. Anyone with information pertaining to the case should contact state police at 610-377-4270. An accident between a car and a tractor trailer on Route 924 just after 5 o'clock this evening by Interstate 81 southbound ramp. Traffic was tied up for quite a bit as crews worked on cleaning up that accident. There were no injuries reported. Police weren't able to comment about the accident, and they say they are still investigating. Hazel Township Fire and Rescue were also assisting at the scene. The Hazleton Area Board of Education voted to increase the salaries of the non-union employees of the district that have been working under pay freezes since the 2010-2011 school year. Our Gary Perna has a rundown.
The employees that received a pay increase were those that are classified under the non-classified or non-union employees. Now, many of them are in the central office as directors, managers, supervisors, or coordinators, along with others. It was an item that was not printed on the agenda at the January 23rd meeting. Rather, it was brought up under new business after an executive closed-door session. The salary increase that was approved on January 23rd was retroactive to July 1st of 2013. Now, many of the pays were increased by about $3,000 or $4,000, but some were even higher. Though there were some that did catch our eye here at WYLN. Carl Urena, Director of Operations, his salary will go up about $8,000. You may remember back in June of 2012 when the board reduced his salary from about $92,000 to about $74,000 during the budget crunch. It was listed in the budget as a demotion and reduction in salary. Supervisor of Security Jim Henry, his salary increased about $20,000, the biggest jump we've noticed. Not a lot of comment was made following the meeting in January. On another note, the Board of Education will meet this Thursday at 5 p.m. for a special school board meeting. Then at 6 p.m., the Finance Committee will meet for the first budget meeting. WYLN will, of course, be there. Reporting for WYLN's Late Edition, I'm Gary Perna.
Thank you, Gary. And that is a look at tonight's top stories. Coming up next, Beth Bensinger's back with more sports here on Late Edition. But first, we want to check back in with Chief Meteorologist Joe Garbacek, who's now outside in the Bedrock Gardens Weather Center for another look at our forecast. Joe?
Thank you very much. Well, that furry critter, Phil the Groundhog, saw his shadow. 6 more weeks of winter. Here's a look at the statistics going back in time with Phil the Groundhog, and you can clearly see that most of his predictions were 6 more weeks of winter. 18 predictions, 101 saw his shadow, 17 no shadow, 9 with no record. Now he saw his shadow, that means 6 more weeks of winter, but ironically, there's always 6 more weeks of winter, so he has an accuracy rate of about 80%. Not too bad for a critter, but I have a better accuracy rate for you with the 7-day forecast. You don't want to miss it. We got 2 storms to talk about. Stick around.
Third Base Luncheonette, still making memories after all these years.
All you want to do is wrap up a sandwich or leftovers, but dealing with plastic wrap and foil leaves you in a tangled mess.
Hi, Mark Gill here for Wraptastic, the super smart dispenser that lets you pull, press, and wrap just like that.
Simply load in your wrap and you're ready to roll. Plastic wrap, foil wrap, wax paper, and more. Wraptastic cuts perfectly every time, so there's no waste. Wraptastic has a safer, hidden stainless steel cutter that cuts only the wrap and only when you need it to. Ready to change rolls? It's spring-loaded, so it's easy out and easy in. Wraptastic is dishwasher safe and fits right in the drawer. Put Wraptastic to work in your home today for just $10.99. Call right now and we'll send you a second Wraptastic as a bonus. Just pay separate processing and handling. As a special gift, I'm going to fill your Wraptastics with a roll of foil and a roll of plastic absolutely free. You get 2 Wraptastics, 2 rolls of wrap, a huge value for just $10.99. Here's how to order.
Going out this Valentine's Day? Treat your sweetheart to a pre-dinner pampering package from Famous Salon. We will make her feel like a star. Happy Valentine's Day from Famous Salon and Spa. To all our valued customers, happy Valentine's Day from Brian Early, Lonnie Poli, and the entire staff at the Early Poli Agency.
Let them give you something to smile about this Valentine's Day. Dr. Mark J. Wendy and his staff welcome you, always accepting new patients. Happy Valentine's Day from the office of Dr. Mark J. Wendy.
Charm and amaze her with a unique, beautiful, fresh arrangement from Cooper's Floral and Gifts and Drums. 570-788-3784.
Former Philadelphia 76er big man Andrew Bynum, who never actually played a game in a Sixers jersey due to a knee injury, has found himself a new team in the Indiana Pacers. The two agreed to a $1 million contract for the remainder of the season on Saturday, shortly after the Cleveland Cavaliers traded Bynum to the Bulls, and the Bulls cut him. This season, in 24 games, he's averaged about 8.5 points and just over 5 boards a game. It is official, David Stern has retired, and Adam Silver is the newest commissioner of the National Basketball League. Stern was the league's longest-serving commissioner with 3 decades of service. Silver has been the deputy commissioner since 2006, spending years before that as Stern's assistant. He was voted to the position unanimously by the team's owners last year when Stern announced his retirement plans. Silver is the 5th person to be named commissioner. Now let's head to our national scoreboard with Adam Silver's NBA up first. Michael Carter-Williams, he dropped 21 in the Sixers loss to the Nets. It's the Wizards by 10 on top of the Trailblazers. Miami over Detroit. Kings falling to the T-Wolves, and the Pelicans drop to the Spurs. OKC over the Grizzlies. In the fourth, the Mavs are leading the Cavs. Clippers are down 3 to the Nuggets in the fourth quarter. Toronto leading the Jazz, and it's the Kings up 10 on the Bulls. In the NHL, Pens win 2-1 in overtime. No score yet between the Flyers and the Sharks playing in San Jose. Edmonton 3, Buffalo 2. Detroit blanking Vancouver. Colorado 2-1 in OT, and in the second, the Ducks trailing Columbus, and it's a 1-0 Chicago lead in Los Angeles. Stick around. Joe Garbachik's back next.
The Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home Incorporated at 542 North Wyoming Street in Hazelton, serving the greater Hazelton area since 1890 and still family owned and operated, offers convenient parking, handicapped accessibility, seating for over 150 people, casket, cremation product showrooms to accommodate traditional, cremation, and pre-planned funerals. The Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home Incorporated, 570-454-3341.
They love their patients. Their patients will love their new office location. Happy Valentine's Day from Milstein Bata Dermatology.
Tune in every Sunday night on WYLN starting February 9th from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. for hard-hitting, high-flying, non-stop action as only Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling High Voltage can bring you. That's Pennsylvania Premier Wrestling every Sunday night starting February 9th on WYLN. I'll see you in the ring.
Give your sweetheart the gift that will outlast the flowers and candy. New flooring from Top Floor and Carpet. Call them today.
Weatherwood is a privately owned 200-bed nursing and rehabilitation center. Nestled within the quiet town of Weatherly, PA, we offer our residents and their families tranquil and scenic views from just about anywhere in the building. We are located within minutes of Hazelton General Hospital, as well as major metropolitan medical and trauma centers in the Lehigh Valley. Whispering Meadows is a 50-bed secured dementia unit within our facility. Whether you need short-term, long-term, or respite stay, call or stop by today for a tour.
All right, we bring out the storm stats page once again. Another winter storm in the making as we head into tomorrow. Later tomorrow night and as we head into our Wednesday, we're going to be looking at snow. We're also going to be taking a look at some sleet mixing in. And eventually we may have to deal with some freezing rain across our viewing area. And looks like it'll give us a healthy amount of snow from this particular system. It will end later Wednesday afternoon into the early afternoon hours. There's going to be some slick conditions in terms of snowfall amounts, generally a widespread 4 to 8 inches as I see it right now, and could be looking at maybe in excess of 8 inches as you head further toward the north. But as you can clearly see on the radar right now, things are very quiet across our area, and it's going to stay quiet as we head through the overnight hours. Now we do have those winter storm watches which continue to remain in effect. They go in effect as we head into our daytime hours of Wednesday, and so far with the timing of the storm, I'm pretty confident that these watches will turn into warnings, and we'll be looking at probably the warnings in effect as I talk to you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Live 35 Skycast Doppler, quiet throughout the state of Pennsylvania. You don't have to worry about anything as I speak or for traveling tonight. We're in the 20s and we have teens, but tell you what, those temperatures will fall through tonight. 18 in Mount Pocono, 22 Wilkes-Barre Scranton International Airport, 15 in Selinsgrove, 22 in Williamsport, and 27 degrees in State College. So over the next few hours, here's what we can continue to see. Temperatures plummeting down to about 10 or so. We can call it the calm before the storm as we head into the early morning hours. Skies will be partly cloudy, and then as we progress through the daytime hours tomorrow, those clouds will continue to be on the increase. So we got nothing to show you right now across our area, but watch the timing of this next system. Skycast precipitation and clouds. Clouds on the increase as we head into tomorrow afternoon, as we head into tomorrow evening, and here comes the snow. Some of it heavy at times. South of Interstate 80, better chance of seeing a lot of the sleet occurring across our area, even a little bit of some freezing rain. Some of that snow could be heavy at times across our region, and a little bit of a mixture before all is said and done. Then it's out of here as we head into our Wednesday evening. So across our region tonight, temperatures fall. 14 in Elk Grove, 11 as we head into New Angola, 10 in Hazelton, 15 in Barnesville. Skies will be partly cloudy, so it definitely will be a cold night out there. So there's that developing storm system making its way toward the north and east. And a good shot of for those that don't like to have the school Wednesday morning and Wednesday afternoon, good chances of some school closings for our Wednesday. 10 to 16 as we head into tonight. Partly cloudy skies, 27 to 33 for tomorrow. Clouds will continue to be on the increase. Snow develops across the region as we head into tomorrow night. Some of it heavy at times, 23 to 29 degrees. Extended forecast brought to you by the Wire Guys division of Arc Electric. So as this storm progresses through our Wednesday, the first part of our Wednesday, good chance we may have to deal with a little bit of some warmer air making its way in the upper levels of the atmosphere, which will change some of that snow over to some sleet, maybe even some freezing rain. You can see the widespread numbers, 4 to about 8 inches of snow. We'll be fine-tuning that forecast for tomorrow night, maybe a little bit more than that. Colder for Thursday, Friday, Saturday night and Sunday. That's a system I'm even a little bit more worried about because just checking the latest model runs coming out just a short time ago, that has a potential of being I don't like to say it this early, but a biggie.
Blizzard?
Not a blizzard, because we're not going to
blizzard.
have the winds. You would need the winds, 35 plus miles per hour and whole
So
others.
there's no blizzard.
So it won't be
of
blizzard, but it
14.
will be. It could be a substantial amount of snow, maybe. We'll see what happens.
And be safe out on the roads, of course.
Yeah, there'll be some slick spots tonight. That's why there's been some school delays for tomorrow morning.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Joe. And of course, Joe will have all the up-to-date weather tomorrow on Late Edition at 10 o'clock. We will see you
when we have
then.
storms. That's right. That's great.
See you then. Have a great night.